What's good? What's good with everyone? Um, I don't know if this video gonna be short, medium, long, but I feel like you need to listen to this. It came to me. It's pretty much about discipleship. A lot of us, we think discipling is over with. Yes, Jesus chose 12 disciples when he was here, but we still grow up under discipleship. That's where like when it be like a lot of people be like, oh nah, my mama she cussed too much, or she got too much hatred in her, or my daddy he gambled too much, he drank too much. Like I don't want to be like them. Like I'm not gonna be like them or whatever. And then you slip up, and then later on in life you say something and look in the mirror and be like, oh man, that's something my mama would have said. I sounded just like her. Or you look back and you be like, dang, I'm doing the same thing my daddy used to do. And I said, I wouldn't do. Because you was discipled off that. You were trained off that. That's just like going in a room full of successful people. You're either go flee or fight. Most people will probably flee. They might hear it and be like, "No, man, I ain't trying to hear that." Like, they think they better than me or them, or you know what I'm saying. Like, they don't want to hear it. But it might be a person that actually fight that and be like, okay, they know something I don't know. So I'm finna stick around and see what they talking about. Like how they get here, how they get there. And it comes to a sense of learning how to budget. Um, Learning that you really ain't gotta cut no curves or do no shortcuts to even get there. You learn off what they're talking about, because now you're getting discipled. You're under discipleship with them. A lot of people is under discipleship of the world. A lot of people can't get to where they want to get to. It's because they want to impress the world too much. Because you're discipled off the world. That's just like when Jesus went to the rich man, and the rich man was like, "Hey, like what I got to do to get to heaven?" You know, and Jesus was like, "Okay, I tell you what. Everything that you got, you sell it or you give it away, and you follow me." Oh, okay. Oh, dang. All right, let me go. My daddy just passed. Let me go bury my daddy right quick, and I'm gonna come back, and then we go follow you. Now I'm gonna follow you. And Jesus like, nah, the dead should bury the dead. The mission is now. Follow me now. But the rich man wasn't willing to do that. God tells us, Jesus tells us, we we know people off good discipleship or the spirit by their love for others and their fruits. But when it comes to that word love, people want it to be like sugar coated or fluffy. Like now, it sometimes it might be cut edge. Like Jesus might have to be cutthroat with you at some point in time to show His love to you. Because following Jesus is not easy, and that's what bump a lot of people off the road of wanting to follow Jesus, because they think just because when they choose, like, okay, I'm finna follow Him, they think it's gonna be easy, not realizing, like, look at everything Jesus endured for us: the mocking, the betrayal, the getting spit on, the healing this person, that person, then still getting talked about by them people kinfolk the next 2 hours, being called a false prophet, uh, you know, then getting crucified at the end of all that. So why would we think following Jesus is going to be easy? It's not. It don't supposed to be. But I would tell you what I believe, whether it matters or not. Following Him is worth it, no matter what. It's worth it. If we know each other off the spirit by off how we love others and off the fruits and all that of our labors, we can you can disagree with something I feel or say, and I could disagree with you, but then we can disagree to agree. That don't mean we don't have to like each other. Just because you don't agree with what I'm saying, I don't agree with what you're saying. That don't mean that make us enemies. We just go agree to disagree, or whatever you want to call it. Disagree to agree, whatever that is. But anyways, like, that's where the love come in at. But you gotta watch. You gotta watch where your discipleship comes from, where your training comes from. Like every preacher that do all that, like every preacher don't have that gift. That is not a, what would I call it? I don't know word I can think of it. That is not a gift for every preacher. So a lot of them do that for show. A preacher can literally sit up here and talk to you like this. As long as it's coming out, as long as what he's saying can be backed up by the word, that's all you need. If I need to come to you to get excited, then it might as well be like First Sunday, the movie. Like what they call it, Club Jesus. I don't have to get excited every time I come to hear a sermon. Like, I'm excited to be here around my family, around my church family. But when I hear your sermon, I want to learn. I want to get convicted. So something I'm doing, I know that I can do it another way or even do it better. Know exactly where to go in the Bible that where I can, okay, teach me how to follow him better. Teach me how to help other people get to the point of following him better. That's the discipleship I'm under. Shout out to my pastor, man. Pastor Justin. He's a great pastor, man. And I'm not just saying that because I go to him. We was actually going to a church before we even decided to go there. And my wife actually went before me. So the next Sunday I was like, yeah, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? I'll give it a try. Whatever. Cause you know me, like I say, I do church every day. Every morning I wake up, I get in my devotion. I study, I write my scriptures down. I do what I gotta do for that. Every night I dive in my Bible. That's a pattern. I start my night off with them, and I most likely end my night off with them. Like I have to. But when we went, when I went with her, I seen something in them. That's where discernment come in. You gotta know. You gotta know. You gotta be able to pinpoint what's the line, what's the truth, what you're being told. It's either gonna be two things: the truth or a lie, fake or real. And the thing that I liked about him is like he literally speak what people need to hear. He don't care about what you want to hear. He gonna tell you what you need to hear. If you get offended, I hope you come back, but you don't have to. And that's what it is. I told my wife, she was like, cause this how the devil works. At that time, after that first Sunday we went, my wife was going to work or whatever, man. She'll come back to me, you know what I'm saying? And she'll be like, "Oh, it was I met a such and such here, you know what I'm saying? And they you know what I'm saying, invited me. They want us to come to their church or whatever." And I'm like, "No, good." I'm like, "I'm going back to the church we went to last Sunday." I was like, "I'm gonna go there two more times. The third time I go there, I'm gonna decide whether we go join that church or not." Three, the number three. It was put on me. So she was like, "All right, but you know they asked us." I was like, "All right, cool. You can go. I'm not going. I'm going to that church two more times. On the third time, I'm gonna make the decision whether we go join that church or not." So coming up, we'll become members of that church family because I feel like I'm under the right discipleship. I don't want to just do YouTube. I'm trying to do ministry. I'm trying to travel and do this. I want to go to places where, like he told Isaac, Like the places you go to, these people might be rough and rugged. Like, but don't be scared because I'm with you. I want to travel and go to them type places. Like places of people that really ain't heard about God too much. Like the queen I'm in Ethiopia before she met King Solomon. They was worshiping the sun, like I said. But when she got his wisdom, she established it in her country. Like you either worship God or you got to get out. Everybody that kept worshiping false idols, she cast them out of the country. That's the type of discipleship I want to be under. To get me to that level where I can go out and minister to other people, not just adults. Really younger people, because they're only doing what they're seeing. If all they see, we was talking about that earlier, man. My wife was in the store, and my wife was like, "Man, I don't know. It just feel like it's hotter than what it used to be when we was younger." And that could be true to some sense. I mean, some point. But I don't know. I responded like, "No, it's the same temperature. It's summer. It's just when we were younger, we could deal with it more. We got older. But it's like when we were young, we were out there in the sun. We was out there all day playing. You don't see kids doing that no more. All this media technology stuff, like they on the video games in the house, on their phones, like they don't be outside for real. You don't really see kids riding bicycles, skating outside, like none of that. Playing football, nothing. Like they're in the house doing something around adults that's doing stuff they shouldn't be doing around them. Like and it can draw kids to that lifestyle. My father went in my life, so I grew up. My biological father wasn't in my life, so I grew up around my mother. My mother smoked weed when I was young, so when I got to be like 12 and a half, 13, I picked that habit up because that's what I seen. Didn't nobody make me do it. It was just I just felt like it was something fulfilling. I need to see what this about. So once I started smoking weed, like that's what I was doing. Like smoked weed, like literally. Like how I wake up to the word and go to sleep to it. That's how I was with weed. Like I have to wake up to a blunt, go to sleep to a blunt, and no matter can't even count how many blunts I would smoke during the day because of what I was the discipleship I was under. And my mother wasn't even a bad person. She just didn't understand. Like, hey, she probably didn't even know what discipleship was. Because my mother really didn't go to church like that. Like, I went to church with my grandmother when I was young. She'll go with us, but a lot of times she didn't go. She never been a bad person. She just didn't go. So that's why I got the roots of church from my grandmother. Um, she kept me in church even when I didn't want to go. She made sure I went. But I'm thankful for that because it later on it circled around and it became me. So now I take my daughter. Like, you going to church, you know? Um, but yeah, just watch and be careful what you discipleship around. If it's the world, you already know who's in the world. The devil is on the prowl, y'all. He don't want us to know a lot. He don't want us to know the truth. That's why we're surrounded with so many lies worldly. Whether it's coming from the government, whether it's coming from teachings. Like if you raised in the project, then you don't have a or raised in a poverty type home setting. Your parents really don't have the finances to really get you to the schools that's really go fully educate you. So you go to the schools that you have to go to that don't really have to fully educate you. It's a criteria that they teach off of. So later on, you got to start re-educating yourself. So with me, I never been a thug, but I lived a street life. I went, I ain't, I wasn't scared. I don't know. I was type. I really didn't like fighting. I started kickbox when I was like 15, I believe, 15, 16. Um, but I was quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still quiet for real. But I lived the street life. But I also got my education. So both of them worked hand to hand. And then when I allowed God to really come in my life, all that came together. I'm not saying this is your life, but just look at your life and what you deal with. Everything that you deal with is for a reason. It's your purpose of helping other people overcome something that you'd have overcame. I done lived the street life. I know what it's about. I know that it ain't worth nothing. So I can go to the projects anywhere and help some people. I can go to the schools and help some people. I can go over here and help them. Cause I did different stuff. And I didn't let it define me. I didn't let it make me. Where you come from doesn't make you as a person. It only supposed to make you stronger. But it don't supposed to define who you are. Don't never settle and be like, this is what it is. Like, no, it's not. You had a purpose when you was created. As a fetus, before anyone had an opinion about you, you had a purpose. We all have identity with divinity. All of us. Choose it. Watch who you surround yourself with. Your energy is very valuable. Guard your energy. Watch who you surround yourself with, because their energy can rub off on yours. Negativity is very contagious. You don't have to start off as a negative person to end up as one. Negative minded. If you continuously hang and surround yourself around those type of environment and type of people, you will eventually turn into that. What you tune into is what you turn into. What entertains you is what trains you. What discipleship is you under? That's a question you gotta ask yourself and answer. No one else can answer that for you. So my advice is to once again repent. Open that book. Let him speak to you. When you open that book, he speak to you. Talk to him and let him talk back to you. Even if you don't understand it, you're gonna eventually get to the point where you understand it. He said, "My word is the truth." Jesus told the devil, "Man should not live off bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God." So every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God is in the Bible. So if we couldn't understand that, then why would Jesus say that? He's not a liar. He told the prince of lies that. So he know that we can comprehend this. You just gotta keep going. He want to see how much you want the relationship. That's just like you trying to get with a female, boys, and they playing hard to get. If you really want that female, you go keep trying to get at her. You go keep getting her attention. You go try to show her that you really want her. You're not gonna stop. I ain't saying you gonna stalk her or nothing like that, but you gonna try your best to show her that y'all were meant for each other. That she the one that you want. She your chosen one. It's just like that with the Bible. Keep reading it. Give God that same attention. Show him that he's the chosen one for you. What are you being discipled by? What discipleship are you under? That's the main question. That can be a answer to all your questions. What discipleship are you under? Or have you been under and haven't got out of it? Haven't moved on from it? Till next time.